Good morning, traders. How you guys doing today? Happy Hump Day, Wednesday, middle of the week. You got a couple things running this morning. Oh man, you got a couple, so that's always a good sign. But if you guys didn't catch the recap yesterday, you see the account is up. Made $155 yesterday before commissions. After commissions, 109. Made four trades, three winners. Trying to get back on the horse, man. Trying to, what I mean, get back where I know I can be. Um, Let me go ahead and change this. So anyway, yep, couple trades, couple winners yesterday, but today it looks like there's a couple more, and that's what we love. I love this here in the market. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you got Solo coming down here to the VWAP. Look for a bounce. Um, so anyhow, it's a red to green yesterday, and then this is apparently will be continuation. Also, it does have news. $6 price target. But this is definitely the one for me to watch. I could see it coming back up. But as of right now, it is pulling back. Look for a red to green. Green move on the 3 minute or the 5 minute. Yeah, so that's that. And I actually had something else over here, but this doesn't have any volume. I just saw it come up on the scanner. But GLG, this is a play from yesterday after hours. Actually, I caught it after hours yesterday, uh, and it was on the rise yesterday. And but it is falling off here for now. Just keep just something to keep an eye on. GLG, and right now, this is all the plays you need. You don't need 1,000 plays. You know what I mean? All you need is one or two good plays that gives you multiple opportunities, and that should be good enough, really and truly. If you can get your, let's see what this is here. If you could get you one or two good plays, um, I'm looking for the bounce here on SOLO. I'm not in it right now. I'm not gonna play anything until the market starts. I don't play pre-market. I've stopped doing pre-market mainly because you know the volume is normally lower. Lately, has you could get million shares traded or more in the pre-market, and then that makes the stock liquid. But one reason I really don't like it um, is because when you're getting a trade, you can't place a stop. I can't place any type of stop order. It will not get filled. So if the stock, say I get in here at $4, and I want my stop to be 390, in case it gets down to 390, and if it goes under 390, the trade it will not execute. The stop will just stay there until the market opens, and then it would possibly execute. But it will not execute a pre. I've tried it many times, so for that reason alone, I really don't. I mean, you can always do your own mental stop, and also you can't. Um, when you hit the panic sell button, you're basically the sell button for your order, the hotkey. For me, anyway, it does not work. You have to literally manually press. If you're in it long, you would manually have to hit 395, type in 395, your position size, and then hit sell. That's the only way it will sell. Now that could become a problem if a stock is moving very quickly, and then you put in 394, but by the time you hit the sell button, it's down to 380 or something like that. You know what I mean? Now it's like, okay, now you have to do it again. So that's two reasons I really don't, because you can get yourself caught up. The hotkeys does not work. The hotkey to get in works, but for some reason the hotkey to get out for me doesn't work. So anyway, that's the reasons that I mainly don't trade in pre-market. Those two reasons. One, liquidity issue normally, even though lately there hasn't been a liquidity issue, but one, liquidity issue. Two, hotkeys and stop loss limitations. With those limitations, it could hurt you if the stock's moving quick. So I just rather stay away. But I'm definitely gonna keep it on watch. SOLO right now, in my eyes, is the top play this morning. Keep in mind now, I'm only looking at stocks $10 and below. So there may be some plays over $10, $20, $30, $50, $100 plays. I don't know, but I just filter out all the noise and only stick to what I'm gonna trade, and that's what you should do too. Only stick to what you're gonna trade. There's no need to have a scanner with you know criteria that you won't even trade, like having a float of over 200 million or whatever the case may be. You're not going to trade that, so why um, scan for that? That's just gonna basically that's just gonna be in the way. Those symbols are just gonna be in your way, and it makes it harder for you to identify the ones that you do want to trade, the ideal plays. So this GLG is steady falling off, still steady selling off right now. Let me go ahead and take a look at it. Yeah, it is. It's selling off pretty hard here. It hit a high yesterday pre-market. I'm sorry, after hours. Yeah, 413. Now it's down to 260, almost a 50% loss. So 50% retracement. So yeah, guys. So that's what it is right now, man. And also I showed you, if you looked at the video yesterday, I showed you where you just don't have to have a high share size to make money. You can use 100 shares. I use 250, but you can use 100 and make money if you pick. But the only thing about that is you have to find and use the ideal stocks. You can't just play any and every little thing you see, because some stocks don't have a range. Some stocks have a range, but it has a history of not making a range. So you have to think about all of those things. So if you get in a stock with 100 shares and it only moves 10 cents in an hour, you know what I mean? That's $10. So, but if you find a stock that's parabolic and it could go $2, $3, $4, that 100 shares can get you $2, $3, $400. So, that's the whole model of that. And then on the flip side, if a stock goes down on you, which is gonna be wrong sometime here, if it goes down on you, you won't lose much. If it goes down 20 cents, you only lose $20. If you're going in with 100 shares, you would only lose $20. You know what I mean? So you definitely want to think about your share size. That's one of the biggest things. Not biggest things, but that's one thing you need to keep on your mind in this trading world. Because if you put yourself out too much, which I've done it before, trust me, I've hit the buying power times 100, where you buy 100% buying power, and I freaking end up with like 1,500 shares, and that's a scary thing, man. When you only have a $600, $500 account, that's a scary thing, because if the stock moves against you, freaking 20 cent, that's $300. So, or if it moves against you 30 cent, you'll blow up your whole account. So the key is really what it all boils down to is risk management, managing your risk. I know you hear that term all the time. We all hear all these cliche, niche term, whatever you want to call it, but it is true. You have to manage it, man. You have to know what you can tolerate on the downside. See, most of us, if you're anything like me, when um when I started, you're only looking on the upside. You're only looking at what you can make. You know what I mean? Your eyes got the dollar signs in it, like the cartoons, where you're looking at all the money you can make. You know what I mean? You're not even really even seeing or thinking about what you can lose. And if you're anything like me, that was the mindset. That was my mindset. I'm like, I see all these guys, saying that they're making thousands of dollars a day. So that's all I'm seeing. I'm not thinking about I could lose thousands of dollars, and I've done that. So you have to look at the downside risk as well when you're making a trade. Don't always just look at the upside. Look at where you would get out. So like they always say, when you get in the stock, you want to know before you get in, where would you be getting out? If you can't answer that question, then don't get in the stock. because if it goes your way, yeah, you're fine. But if it goes against you, you didn't have any kind of plan in place, and it happens a lot. So you want to know where you want to get out, and you should want to know where um, you want your profit, where you think, or based on a pattern, where is the profit target. You need to know these things. You need to know this. I mean, if you just jump in the stock, right? I mean, you can't just say, okay, I want to get 20. I want to do a 2 to 1, and I want to get 20 cent, and I want my risk to be 10 cent. But you can't just say what a stock is gonna do. If it's at 265 here right now, as it is, you can't just say it's gonna go to. You don't know what the stock is gonna do. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna make my profit 285." What if it doesn't? You have to go off of the patterns, basically what you see. Now, in this case, you may have room up to the VWAP. Not saying it's gonna go there, but you have that first resistance. Well, actually, you have resistance or support slash resistance right here at the 290. So you may get that, but in a lot of cases, you can't just put a number on it and think the stock is going to do exactly what you. It doesn't work like that. And if you believe that, you'll find out quickly. Yeah, you'll find out. The market humbles the best of us. I'm telling you, it'll humble you real quick. That's one thing I learned too about being in the market is, in the real world, we can get away with acting like we know stuff. I learned this. In the real world, you can get away. If you look on social media or you see questionnaires and you see, somebody asks a question and then you see 100 different answers. Everybody thinks their answer is right, but yeah, I mean, who's to say which one is right? But in this market, it'll teach you if you're right or wrong. So you can think you know it. You can have all the confidence in the world, be as cocky as you want to be, but it will show you if you're right or wrong. And that's one thing I do like about the market. It weeds out the know it, the ones that know and the ones that don't, and then everybody in between thinks they know. Everybody thinks they know. If you look at YouTube, you look at me, you look at a lot of videos. Some of us do know, but a lot of people say they know, but the market will show you. That's why a lot of people don't show their equity. That's why a lot of people don't show their realized and their net profit from their account. They'll just post up a video. I'm not knocking anybody, you know what I mean? Hey, do what you do. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just making an example of why they did say it's 90% failure rate and it's only less than 10% of people that are successful. But now, you just do the math. You see 100 new YouTube traders. I mean, and then the real winners, they're not posting too much. Um, some of us are, and I applaud Ross. Like people like Ross, I ain't gonna lie, I actually look up to Ross. He shows everything. He shows his trade. I don't care what people say. He's been doing it, and I've been watching him for the last 2 years. But let me get back to it. Let's see what else is here. I'm not gonna be here long. As I said, I would trade pre-market, but no, I don't trade it anymore because of. But I do like the way this SOLO is holding. This is definitely one to watch. It may break before the bell, but I believe it's gonna break. But definitely, I would definitely. This is my number one to watch for the bell, because I like the way it's holding right now. Anyway, it's 8:30, but I like the way it's kind of holding here. It did have a retracement here, and then I'll show you something here. Let me show you something here. See, I'm gonna pull out a little bit of my tricks here. I don't usually do that. All right, here. So it pulled down so far. It's down to the 50% retracement, and that's healthy. That's a healthy pullback. It's not healthy when it gets down. When it basically 100% retraces or close to it. A 50% retracement is pretty healthy. Now, as you can see, it's holding this area. Now, you see, I just drew that. I didn't make this line here just now. I drew the fib, and you see this is where it's ending up. Now, it could go down, but just keep an eye on it. I'm betting that it's going to go up, and if it does, you have the 470 area. Watch that area. If it starts to shoot up, the 470 area is going to be a pretty important level to see if it continues higher or if it rejects off of that area. I'm betting that it's gonna go to 470. I could bet everything. And in this video, you can look back at it after the fact and see if I was right or wrong. And this is live here. This is no pre-recorded. It's 8:34 in the morning on March 20th, 2019. 8:34 Eastern time here. Um, and you'll see. I have a good idea that this stock is going to move. But let me go ahead and take a look at the daily. That also gives you a hint of it. All right. So if you look back, all right, let me take a look here. So what you want to do, okay. So what I can see is that it can hold its gains. And that's what you want to see. All right. Let me give you an example. If you look back, this candle here, it held its gains. It never fell off. This candle here, it did fall off and it went the other way. But it doesn't have a history of doing that. Also, anytime it made big moves, it held the moves. So anytime it made big moves like this, even down here, the first move here, it held the move each and every time. So what I'm saying is, if it does shoot up, I wouldn't look to short it. You know, some people look for it to, look for the peak and then they short it on down. I wouldn't short this at all. I would just watch it. So right now it is still in the healthy range, but I will definitely keep an eye on it. I'm long bias on it, but that's that. So I'll come back to that. This LXRX. You see my computer's lagging. That's one of the reasons I don't stream live during the market hours, because I want to stream. I want to let you guys see my trades. You see, yesterday I made $155. That's only trading 250 shares. So, but I would like to show you guys. But the only thing, I need to upgrade my computer. I'll tell you no lie. Because when I'm running that and I'm running the stream here and I'm running my, and trying to trade, everything lags like heck. So I have to shut it off. So I can give it to you pre-market, but for some reason when the market starts, I guess Thinkorswim, ramps up his memory usage, because right at 9:30, you can hear my fans going off on the back of the computer. So, but let's see here, LXRX. This has some news. It's not much volume. I just saw it yesterday. It did move pretty much yesterday, but it only has 10,000, so I wouldn't touch that right now. Next one down, MRNS. No volume yet. It is up. I did catch it going up this morning. I didn't play it, but I watched it. But no volume yet, so I wouldn't touch that until it hits over 100,000. All right, so let's see if anything else popped up here, and I'm gonna get out of the way. Let's see. So you got TO just popped up. It's not a much volume on it, but I did see it. Nah, that sucks. That's no good. That's not good at all. See why I wouldn't even touch that. So that's another thing. You gotta cut out the foolishness and only deal with the best. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stocks you can play. There's thousands of stocks in the market, like something like 8,000 to 9,000 stocks total. But you gotta weed all that stuff out, man, and just that comes with time. And you weed it out and you just censor it to the things that you like. Don't weed out and use the stocks just because everybody else is trading a certain stock. If you have a certain pattern or a certain strategy, I'm sorry, you find the stocks that fit that. You don't forget. I mean, if your stock matches what the crowd likes, then that's fine too. Because sometimes I find myself trading stocks that no one's talked about, nobody's said anything about, and still to this day hasn't said anything about. 598. All right, I have to take this phone call, guys. So I will call you. I'm sorry. I will see you guys later.